unboxed up all my Black Series figures, and admittedly, 3 months later, in February, I still have not taken the time to unbox them and set them up at the shelf. So, I know I'm guilty of procrastinating, but I thought maybe doing a video taking them all out of the tub would spur me into action, and I also thought it would be a really fun video where we can go through all the figures I have together. And I do have kind of a bad memory, so in a way it's kind of like, oh, I forgot this figure exists, that's really cool, type of thing. Or I forgot I have this guy. So I'm actually pretty excited to go through, since, like I said, they've been safe and secure in this tub for 3 months. I do have some. Actually, I only have 2 in-box figures. I have Ahsoka, and I have a Thrawn, which I realized that I forgot to get from the top shelf. But I have another Thrawn in here, so I'll just show you that one. But those are my only 2 in-box figures. I might actually buy a few more. I definitely don't want like a full in-box collection, but I think of like my favorite characters like Ahsoka, Thrawn, you know, people like that. I think it's cool to have a mint version. But whatever, you can also see I do have some figures out of the tub. These are figures that I've bought, and I think I've shown them all on the channel since I've moved. So I think there's like 10, no 12. So, sorry. We'll check out those first, and then we'll get into the main event, and I'll go kind of quick through these. There's a lot of figures. Actually, it'll be interesting to count, because admittedly I've also lost count. Okay, so we'll go quick through these because you guys have seen them recently. Move that aside for a second. Okay, so now these figures, there's 8 of them. I just got these and unboxed them, I think it was 3 weeks ago now. So I'll just mention them, we won't really look at them. And if you want to check out the unboxing and sort of go through of each of these figures, I'll link the video down below, so go check that out. But here's Dengar. Actually, I think my favorite figure to come out of that wave. Dengar isn't like a super huge character or anything, but I just think he looks awesome, and the figure is really high quality. So there's Dengar, our first figure. He comes with, actually I think it's this one, a blaster. Let's see, another Empire Strikes Back bounty hunter. There's 4 Lam. Then we have Mandalorian Super Commando, who has blasters. So there's that. Oops, I just talked about these figures on the channel. Lando Calrissian with his off-good cape. Q90. What is this camera focusing on? So there's Q9. And 501st Trooper from the archive line. With the DC-15, of course. Okay, so those are the 8 figures I unboxed recently. If you want to see more in depth into those, check out the link in the description. Okay, and then I think the Black Series video before that was on the 2 Rexes. So this is the original Rex, released a few years ago. I know, I have a broken antenna, very sad. And then here's the new one. It is quite different. You can see just the color alone is different, weathering's different. Helmet paint job's very different. It does come with this soft goods, whatever you want to call it, cloak, which is quite nice. The biggest issue I have with it is that they didn't include the pauldron, so it kind of sucks, but still a decent figure. I just prefer the original. And then these 2 figures I actually got on my road trip moving across the country. And I did do a video on that. So we have the Armorer, who we now saw again in the Book of Boba Fett, which was pretty cool. And we have Cosca Reeves, and of course, where is it? The Armorer does come with sort of the Armorer tools. So the Armorer is quite a nice figure. It would have been cool if this was a soft goods piece, like kind of like a fake fur type of deal. But otherwise, I like the figure. But I did want to take a second to talk about the Cosca Reeves figure. For whatever reason, this figure is very, very high quality. I think it's in large part because of the matte paints. It gives it a much more realistic appearance than sort of shiny or plastic. So I really like the matte paints. And then I do think the head sculpt also looks quite good. And same with the hair. There's a ton of detail. The only thing is I wish they used a matte paint for the face. They've been doing a lot of shiny face paints lately, and I do think I prefer the matte face paints. But otherwise, I think they did a really fantastic job on Cosca Reeves. Super great figure, and that actually reminds me, I do want to show head sculpts. And this is actually a good example of matte versus shiny paints on a head sculpt. So you can see this is the new Rex. And this is the old Rex. And in my opinion, you can see there's a huge difference in quality with how the head looks, because this uses shiny paints, and it looks very fake. And this uses matte paints, so it looks much more realistic. So, okay guys, that is all the figures that I've unboxed since I've moved. So, we can go ahead and get into the main event here. Let's just slide everyone over, because it's gonna get very crowded. And I don't know if I have enough table space for this. I think I'm gonna move this off screen. Okay. Now we have a much bigger space that we can fill up. So let's get the most boring thing out of the way. A bag of accessories. You can see there's a holocron, Chopper's leg, macro binoculars. Here's the Mandalorians jetpack and cape. Some flame effects, lightsaber pieces, unused weapons. I'm not going to go through this whole bag, but if you don't see the character holding the weapon, it's probably in here. Or in here. This is all clone weaponry. So we have DC-15s, DC-15As, and DC-17s. Oh, and the clone commando one. Which its name always escapes me. So there's accessories and weapons. There might be some like kind of scattered around with the character, but let's start. So I think I'm gonna do like 20 seconds per character. Because if I do more than that, then this video is gonna be many, many hours, and I'm hoping it comes in around an hour. Okay, so first and foremost, we have Season 7 Ahsoka Tano. Comes with 2 lightsabers, and overall, just a really fantastic figure. Definitely one of my favorites. And that's why I have 2. So the face sculpt looks good. The paints are a little shiny, but it's not terrible. Sculpt looks good. There's tons of articulation, so definitely one of my favorite figures. Let's see. Here's Commander Cody. Unfortunately, I don't have the original release. This is just an archive figure, but I was happy that they, did do an archive run of it. Because I think the original Cody was running at like $150 to $200, so happy when they released this. And even though it's a very old figure, like 2015 release date, it actually still holds up really well. Let's see. Here we have Tech, one of the members of the Bad Batch. Let me see if I can find the others. Here's Wrecker. I'll show their head sculpts in a second. I just want to grab them all. I see. Yeah. Here's Crosshair. And I found someone's backpack. I think it's Wreckers. members of the Bad Batch are generally very high quality figures. They really did a great job with these. It's weird that they still haven't released Echo. He is announced, so he's coming soon. But I don't know if we have a release date. Wrecker is a really great figure. This was a deluxe, so it's very, weighty. Tons of beef. And a lot of good detail. So, Wrecker is definitely a great figure. And then we have Hunter. A pretty dang good figure. So there's the Bad Batch. I think that Clone Commando Blaster belonged to Wrecker. And I don't know, Crosshair either dropped his weapon or it's somewhere in the bottom of the box, so maybe we'll find it. If we don't, it's definitely in here. Okay, let's keep moving here. Yes. Darth Vader. Also a pretty awesome figure. One of the few instances where a very large cape and large amounts of soft goods looks good on a character. Usually, they don't use a high enough thread count fabric, or it just doesn't drape right and it looks not good. They did a really great job on Vader as far as that goes. Definitely an awesome looking figure. So there's Vader. Put him down. Very happy to have him. Oh, here we have Clone Wars, Obi-Wan and Anakin. When these came out, when was it? Last May, I went to Target 25 times trying to get these. It was definitely a time. I was going to 2 Targets before work and one on the way home. And I finally managed to find them. And they are really awesome figures. They really did a great job on these, but man, being an exclusive, they're just so hard to find. So there's Clone Wars, Obi-Wan and Anakin. Fantastic figures. I think, oh yeah. On that similar note, Echo. I do love the Obi-Wan and Anakin figures, but I think Echo is my favorite of the 4 from this wave. There's his head sculpt. It looks decent. It's a little too shiny. Personally, I prefer to keep the helmet on. But anyways, I really like ARC Troopers. I think they're awesome. And there's a lot of really good detail in here. A lot of sculpts sort of layered on top of each other. They did give us a pretty proper ARC Trooper, which I was very happy about. With all the new sculpts and whatnot that go along with it, so they definitely didn't cheap out on this figure. And I love ARC Troopers, and it just looks awesome. So definitely one of my favorite figures of that wave. Consequently, it was also the last one I found, so I was worried I wasn't going to get it. But definitely an awesome figure. pretty good figure. I don't have a ton to say about it, since it's like the kind of generic shiny, so it has pretty good articulation. I did have a few of these, but I started making like custom painted figures out of them. So this is actually my last one. But decent figure. Okay, let's do another Bad Batch. This is the Elite Squad Trooper. It kind of sucks. Like, I do like the figure, but I really wish they gave us a Phase 2 shiny, like the Phase 1 shiny. I hope you can see it. I can't tell if my camera's having trouble focusing. I really wish they gave us a Phase 2 shiny, just white armor. We got the Elite Squad Trooper, which I think a lot of people use for customs, and I have done one. So it's a decent figure. It's just, the Phase 1 clone with a black body and a Phase 2 head. So, it's decent. Let's see. Here we have General Grievous. Another pretty old figure that is fantastic. I really think they did a great job with General Grievous. All the sculpts and paint applications look good. I'm not going to attempt it now, but you can reattach his arms. Hello there, General Kenobi. Oh, man. I'm sorry, that was awful, and I will never do that again. Let me finish talking about Grievous. They did make it fairly size accurate, and he, towers above the clones. So that's quite good. So definitely happy with Grievous. Oh, and he does come with a soft good cape. So you can pop that on. And display it with his signature cape. Okay, moving on here, we have Asajj Ventress. It's a decent enough figure. I'm not a huge fan of these soft goods, admittedly. I think it looks very fake, but otherwise the figure looks pretty good. And oh yeah, here's the other lightsaber. So she does have both of her lightsabers. So there's Ventress. Oh, we pulled out Obi-Wan, but then we didn't look at him. So here is another very old figure. This is the original. Commander Cody, I have the archive, but this is the Obi-Wan that came in the original box. So Commander Cody holds up very well. Obi-Wan, not so much. It definitely shows its age in many ways. Particularly the face. So you can see there's a pretty stark difference in likeness there. So, I'm really happy to have this because, Episode 3, Obi-Wan, is a must, and it's kind of like a piece of Black Series history, but whereas Commander Cody holds up, this guy definitely shows its age. So, not necessarily a bad thing. Just wanted to note that. Okay. Here we have the Purge Trooper from Jedi Fallen Order. I have a few Fallen Order figures. Fantastic game. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. So, very similar to the clone. Clone body. I think this is the Stormtrooper pauldron. And then, is this an airborne helmet, or is it just a totally custom thing? I'm not entirely sure. But it's a good figure. And I love Jedi Fallen Order, so. Another good one. Here we go. Here we have Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. Sometimes more spindly elements, like the jetpack here, does get a little bent, but it's not a huge deal, because you can bend it back pretty easily, and if it ever doesn't want to bend back, if you apply hot water, then it'll very easily sculpt back into place. Anyways, this is the Deluxe Boba Fett, and it really is a fantastic figure. I think probably still one of my favorites to this day. I think I made like a top 10 video a while back, and I still think this takes number 1. It's just such an incredible figure. With like the sculpt, the detail, all the paint applications look really, really good. They really knocked it out of the park with this. And like, it was a deluxe, and it came with a few other things, like he had his rifle split in half, some like jetpack flame effects, some flamethrower effects, so it had accessories. Really, really great figure. I still need to get an Empire Strikes Back Boba. But regardless, this is a fantastic figure. Come on, camera, focus on what's right in front of you. So, very happy about this guy. Keeping with the theme of bounty hunters, we have Succus. And I don't see his rifle anywhere, so I either put it in that bag or it fell to the bottom. But actually, a surprisingly really good figure. It goes well with Fort Lom. So, the soft goods. It's like a full soft good undersuit, and surprisingly looks really good. So, definitely kind of an underdog, but still a really great figure. Okay, let's do. I have to pick up the pace here. I'm lollygagging a bit too much. Here's the Death Trooper. I do love Death Troopers. I think they look pretty awesome. And I think the figure looks pretty decent. I hope you can pick out all the details. I know with like kind of all black figures it can be kind of hard to see, but another good figure. Okay, this is, I want to say Admiral Piet. I think that's who it is. Really good paint on the face. It's nice and matte. But otherwise, it's a pretty standard Imperial officer, so his hat is removable. So, decent figure. Let's see. I guess keeping with the theme of Imperial officers, we of course have Grand Admiral Thrawn. So, Thrawn is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. His Rebels character is okay, but I absolutely love him in the books. So there's 6 canon Star Wars books about Thrawn. If you haven't read them, go check them out. You can also listen to them on audiobook, and they have like sound effects and voice acting and all that stuff. I'm not sponsored. I just think they're fantastic books, so you should definitely go check it out. Personally, this is not what I imagine in my head when I see Thrawn. I imagine the guy in the cover of the books, so I don't really like this head sculpt. And the figure isn't super accurate, like all the sort of tiny details here and there. But, it's still Thrawn, so very happy to have it. And generally looks pretty good, at least from a distance. Okay, here we have the 332nd clone, which goes with Ahsoka. So, the helmet painted orange to match Ahsoka's markings. Pretty good figure, and actually kind of have both variants of the 501st. We have the 501st itself, and then the offshoot, the 332nd. So pretty cool to see them side by side. And again, decent figure. Definitely like an awesome trooper in the show. So happy to have this. TIE pilot. I do like TIE pilots and TIE fighters in general, but there's not a ton you can do on the shelf and with posing with this guy other than just, strike a stoic pose. So, cool figure. Doesn't have a ton of pose uses. Okay. I think I have 2. I know I have 2 or 3 stormtroopers. I'm just trying to find the 3rd one. There we go. So I have 3 stormtroopers for kind of army building and posing. They look pretty cool when you set them up around Vader, so I decided to pick up a few. They're decent figures. I like them. They have good articulation. And the scope looks good, so I'm pretty happy with these guys. Just for, army building and looking cool. Okay. Here we have Commander Gree, another clone commander. So, kind of a very unique design. A lot of camo, some so pretty decent looking figure, I think. The head, I think it's the same as, yeah. It has that sort of cylinder in the bottom, which I don't love. I think it looks okay. It's not terrible, but I do kind of like the newer clones better. Although maybe this is more accurate. Now that I'm saying it and really thinking about it, maybe I do like this better. I don't know, but there's Commander Gree. Pretty cool looking figure. Kit Fisto. A surprisingly high quality figure. The big, Montrails or hair tentacles, whatever you want to call them, look really good. His eyes look really good. And just like a pretty sweet figure overall. So there's Kit Fisto. Let's see, keeping on the theme of Jedi. Here's Plo Koon. Really like the head sculpt. I think they did a fantastic job at the paint on this and the sculpt as well. It's just a ton of detail, really high quality. And the body is, it's a Jedi body. It's okay. Nothing too crazy about it, but the head, they did a really great job on. And on the topic of Plo Koon, here's his clone commander, Wolf. Another really great figure. And then and you can see that looks good. It uses matte paints on the face. And he has the eye wound. So there's Wolf, another good figure. Okay, here we have another Jedi. Mace Windu. Again, kind of another standard Jedi body. But I do like the head sculpt. I think that looks like Mace Windu. And of course, the signature purple lightsaber is definitely awesome. So, I really do like the Mace figure. And all the Jedi. So there's Mace. Okay, and now here we have Cal Kestis. Another Jedi figure. I unfortunately don't have like his standard look. I have his appearance, and it still looks cool. I would just prefer his like the fur and the jumpsuit he wears, but I do like this. And I like the lightsaber, so. And like I said, I do love Jedi Fallen Order, so. There's Cal. Okay, sorry about that cut there. I had to stop for a few moments, but let's keep going. Here we have the Imperial Royal Guard. I'm actually kind of indifferent to this guy, mostly because I don't have an Emperor. I'm sure I would love this figure if I had, an Emperor to put it next to, but right now it just kind of seems like lonely. So, hopefully one day I can get an makes sense. Here's the second sister. Another figure that I really, really love. The main antagonist of Jedi Fallen Order. And I think the figure just looks really great. And I know a lot of people don't like plastic capes when they should be soft good, but I do think they made the right choice here because her cape is very kind of leathery, and I don't think they would have gotten that effect with like a soft good unless they spent a lot of money on it. So I do really like this figure, and if you don't like the cape, it is removable, and then there's like a little piece you can put here instead, so she still has the shoulder pads. So definitely an awesome figure. I love the game and the character, and the figure is pretty dang good too. I sound like a broken record, but let's go faster. Here's Commander Fox of the Coruscant Guard. Another really great figure. Love the color scheme. The decals. Weathering's pretty decent. So, there's Fox. Here's the Camino clone from the Fives conspiracy arc. Again, I like it. I don't have anything against it. I really just wish they would make the Phase 2 shiny before all the variants. I think there is one in a 4-pack, but you have to buy like 3 other figures to get it, so pretty good figure. I like it. Not a ton to say about it though. Okay. Trying to reassemble Cad Bane here. Anyways, here he is. This is another really great figure. I think some characters, for whatever reason, they just go all out on. And I do think Cad Bane is definitely one of them. Unfortunately, I don't have the one that comes with Dodo, but I'm still happy to have this one. Here we have Grand Moff Tarkin. Another Imperial. I think they did do a good job on the face sculpt here. I think it does look like him, but otherwise, the body is just the standard Imperial body. So, pretty good figure. He does come with an interrogation probe. I'm sure we'll find it eventually. Here we have a shore trooper. Really like the paint and weathering on this guy. Again, I think it's because it's matte. So it gives a much more realistic appearance than shiny paints. So, if there's one thing you can take away from this video, it's that I like matte paints. So, pretty good figure. Although, that has always disturbed me about it. So, disturbing, but nonetheless good figure. There's Commander Bly. Really like his figure as well. there's Hawk. Again from the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan and Anakin, and Echo line. Here we have, two snowtroopers. I think I've said this many times on the channel, but I absolutely love the Hoth sequence. Definitely my favorite scenes in Empire Strikes Back and the original trilogy, perhaps in the entire franchise. I don't want to go that far, I'd have to really think about that. But I love, everything about Hoth and Echo Base and the Empire attacking it, so definitely love the snowtroopers, and I think they really look the part. So there they are. Here's Chopper, and he comes with a stand. The mischievous droid from, I think you have to replace the whole piece. So mischievous droid from Rebels. Pretty good figure, actually. Very small and simplistic, but actually I don't even want to say simplistic because there's actually quite a few features and doohickeys and whatnot, so kind of a neat one. And he can stand and, blast off. Okay. Here we have Rebels Ahsoka. So her lightsabers should be white, and they kind of come off more bluey here, which is my only real critique of the character. Otherwise, I think the figure looks quite nice. I do really like the Rebels outfit. So, another great figure. I don't have more than one Rebels Ahsoka, like I do with Clone Wars. So there's Ahsoka. Here we have Aura Singh with the bent antenna. Pretty decent figure. I like the overall aesthetic. So here we have what is this? There we go. Incinerator Trooper from the Mandalorian. I really like the way the flamethrower looks, and the sort of wire that runs from the flamethrower to his backpack, and sort of how that's spliced into the gun. I think they did a really great job on that. But otherwise, it's mostly just a normal stormtrooper, which isn't bad. With red markings, so I think it looks good, but really think they did a great job on the flamethrower aspect. Okay, and now we have Bo-Katan. Here she is, with a head sculpt. I've never really liked this head sculpt. I think it's way too shiny and doesn't really look all that much like her. But otherwise, I think the figure looks pretty dang good. Fairly similar to Casca Reeves. Where is she? Even though Bo-Katan, is a cool character, I do kind of think they did Oscar uses figure better. Okay, and of course, to go with my love of Hoth, I have 3 Rebel Snowtroopers. So, one really unique thing they did about this guy is in their backpack, they actually have an alternate face, and they come with like a scarf and goggles. So even though these are all 3 the same figure, they each have a distinct look. So really cool idea to give you a ton of customization. And you can mix and match as well. Like you can get another beard face, put the goggles on. You can have this guy with goggles up. So you can really mix and match, and it's all the same figure, but there's a ton of different combinations. So your Rebel army doesn't look like a clone army. So otherwise, the figure actually looks pretty good as well. I like it a lot, so nice job on that one. Here's, of course, one of the Mandalorians. This happens to be one with a head sculpt, and I really, really don't like this head sculpt. I think they did a not so great job on that, so let's just leave the helmet on and not talk about it. And this is the figure that comes with the Pram and Grogu. So there you go. There's Mando. Oops. Pretty good figure. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Here we have Chewbacca. How do I put this back together? I might have to check the video. That is, I'll figure this out later, but that is one good thing about all my videos is if I'm ever confused about a figure, its accessories, or how it works, I can just go back and check my video. But otherwise, Chewbacca's pretty awesome just because how dang tall they made him. Movie accurate, of course. So, just like a super massive Black Series figure. Pretty cool. Here we have another Mandalorian, just without the head sculpt, and I do actually think this one's better with no head sculpt because then you don't have to worry about like the chin being seen. So I actually prefer this Mando. Here we have Luke and Yoda. The Deluxe 2-pack. And he comes with a few alternate hands, or maybe it's just one, but still, they usually don't give us alternate hands, so I did like that they had it on this one. Sort of a force push. And, pretty iconic scene. And the figure looks good. Here we have another really fantastic figure. This is Paz Vizsla. And kind of becoming relevant again because no spoilers, he came back in Book of Boba Fett. So we see him. I won't spoil anything. But this is another figure that I think is just really, really well done. So the armor looks super realistic. A lot of really great weathering. Again, I love the backpack. And I don't know why. I guess I'm just a sucker for guns that connect to backpacks. And like the backpack also connects to his gauntlet. So I just think this figure looks awesome. Super duper high quality. So there's Paz Vizsla. We need a pre-Vizsla figure. Here we have Jar Jar Binks, the Sith Lord that orchestrated the Clone Wars. That's all I'm going to say about that. Count Dooku, who is, of course, Jar Jar Binks' apprentice. No, but pretty good figure. I think they got the likeness pretty dang good there of Dooku, and the cape does look pretty decent. So there's Dooku. Oh, Paz Vizsla just fell over. Let me get them all out. So here we have Hoth, Leia, Luke, and Han. So here they are. They all look pretty decent. Again, mostly have them because Echo Base and Hoth, but they're pretty good figures. I think Luke is generally too shiny. Like Han doesn't really have that problem. And the Leia figure looks really, really good. We have a massive pile here. Here's Sabine, who has a helmet. Oh. It's in her hand. I didn't realize. So, a nice figure. The only thing I don't like about it is every time I look at this figure, my eye is immediately drawn to this massive joint in her neck. So, otherwise, it's a good figure. Here's a B1 battle droid. I only have one of these. I actually want to get a few more for army building. Hera, Syndulla, the Twi'lek from Rebels. Cool character. And the figure looks good. And of course she goes well with Chopper. So there's Hera. Actually, we have two separate versions of Lando Calrissian. This is Empire Strikes Back. This is Solo. And then here's Return of the Jedi. And again, you can kind of see like Solo versus Return of the Jedi. This face is just so shiny. But otherwise, I do really like these figures, and I really like the yellow with sort of the black cloak over it of the Solo. Here's the interrogation probe that I was talking about earlier. This came with Tarkin. Moff Gideon wielding the Darksaber. Cape does come off. Pretty nice figure. Let's see. A sand person, Tusken Raider, who are now, after Mandalorian Season 2 and Book of Boba Fett, much more relevant. So, I really like the head sculpt. And Padme. I don't actually have Episode 2 Anakin, or Obi-Wan for that matter. I should really get them soon. So there's Padme. Of course, the last, the most important character in Star Wars, BD-1. This is, of course, Cal's droid in Jedi Fallen Order. And he's definitely kind of adorable. So, I like that they included him. Again, I wish I had the regular paint job, but still cool. And I think this is Aura Singh's weapon. Not sure. I think this is Padme's. I'm not positive. And then some fame effects. I think from Boba Fett and the incinerator. Now I do have one more thing to show, and then we're done. So give me 1 second. Here we have the snowspeeder, and inside we have Luke Skywalker in his pilot outfit, and I want to say it's Dak Rattler, I think. Okay guys, there you go. As you can see, we have a massive mound here. So, I did of course forget to count them, so I think I'll do that off screen and put the number on either on screen right now or in the description. Anyways, let me know what you guys think and what your favorite figure was. And before I end the video, I just wanted to say that we recently passed 1,000 subscribers, and I just want to say I'm so grateful for each and every one of you.